Good day. Good day. I am Benedict here. My presentation will be regarding a study conducted on the critical analysis of ballistic evidence in South Africa that was as part to obtain the Doctor of Policing degree from the Tshwane University of Technology. So this presentation is only a summary of the study that has been performed and the results obtained. So when looking at the introduction, the study focused on the operations within the field of ballistics, specifically from the perspective of South Africa. Ballistics is a specialized unit within the South African Police Service, operating under the Division of Forensic Science Laboratory. The study followed the qualitative research technique utilizing non-probability sampling in the form of purposive sampling. Thematic analysis was chosen as a method to analyze the collected data. The research findings highlighted two key disciplines relevant to the study: forensic firearm examination and forensic firearm identification. The study adequately addresses various factors, including the manufacturing processes, class, subclass, and individual characteristics, the FT theory of identification, and the subjective versus objective nature of analysis. Forensic science, as defined, involves the examination of crime scene evidence using standardized and proven foundational principles with the aim of assisting the court in making informed decisions. This is important because law enforcement agencies employ this ballistic evidence during criminal investigations, especially those of gun violence, and in almost all the court cases where applicable. South Africa is confronted with violent crimes such as cash in transit, robberies, murders, political assassinations, and taxi violence, where the use of firearms are common. This firearm evidence becoming such a crucial part during court cases, and ballistic forensic examiners or analysts, like we know them, they testify during these court cases considering themselves as expert according to the law. The results and discussions of the study: semi-structured interviews were utilized to gather information from participants. An interpretation of these findings in terms of respective themes is presented. The following emerging themes were identified. Emerging theme 1, called the fundamental validity of ballistic examination and evidence of forensic science. For ballistic examinations to be presented as expert evidence, it would have to be qualified as a forensic science. And this theme is divided into 5 sub-themes that would all contribute to the required qualification of a forensic science. Namely, sub-emerging theme number 1, forensic science. When looking at the definition of ballistics, the study has pointed out that it is quite a broad definition or area of focus. It is evident that the primary function of the ballistic units, as it is called, is not the study of the movement of the bullet with every case being examined. It is rather the examination of the firearm mechanisms and firearm individualization. Disagree with participant 8, who mentioned that the majority of examinations do not include in-depth ballistics analysis, for instance, bullet trajectories and velocities. The study has proven that sufficient studies were carried out prior and still ongoing. It is quite evident that many of such studies met the required standards of a forensic science. Sub-emerging theme 2, manufacturing processes. During the study, it was established that various researchers have explained the different manufacturing processes involved of firearm parts. Sub-emerging theme 3, the fundamentals of ballistics. processes involved in the production of finished parts is where individual characteristics originate from, and the processes that could include filing, sanding, and grinding. These results from the randomness of which the tool surface contact the contact part, as well as the relative quickness of the wear changing the tool surface. The study has pointed out that researchers utilized their various studies to prove that the fundamental validity of ballistics had been met, and ongoing empirical research is evident. Sub-emerging theme number 4, empirical studies. This study has highlighted some proficiency test results that were administered by CTS in 2019, 2020, and 2021. As it is evident in the responses from participants 4 and 5, proficiency tests are being conducted locally, but there exists no platform of reporting of such test results. The purpose of such test results is to test the operation and or examination processes, as well as the competency of analysts. Then sub-emerging theme number 5, class, subclass, and individual characteristics. In evaluating the pattern of individual characteristics, the height, width, depth, curvature, and spatial relationship of the appearance of marks are considered. Based on this, the analysts use their subjective influence to determine whether sufficient agreement exists between the marks to conclude whether they originate from the same source. The study has pointed out that subclass characteristics are identified as gross marks resulting from broaching, whereas discontinued unrelated marks were observed as individual characteristics. Emerging theme 2. It is called the critical importance of ballistic evidence to the court. The study has pointed out the importance of the 212 affidavit. If all requirements have been met, that conclusion of examinations performed can be credible evidence, as prima facie suggests during criminal matters in court. Then continue. Emerging theme number 3, the critical importance of FT to establish the environment of ballistics. Research, as this study has pointed out, forms such an important basis for forensic science, and the organization called FT is the platform where numerous research articles are published. This theme is divided into 3 sub-themes, namely 3.1. Let's go to sub-emerging theme 1, FT theory of identification. Now, the FT theory of identification is a summary of ballistics and describes very well how individualization is established. Sub-emerging theme 2, subjectivity versus objectivity. This study is pointed out, as it agrees with Nichols in 2007 and Bolton King in 2017. That analysts built an understanding and knowledge of individualization by recognizing patterns together with specialized in-depth training and with the observation of multiple evidence of best-known match and best-known non-match. The ballistics environment is criticized for its objective interpretation. Even within objective interpretation, as mentioned by Nichols in 2007, the subjective human opinion will always be required to interpret the results. Sub-emerging theme 3, absolute certainty versus practical certainty. Not all firearms in the world are examined, and because of this impossibility, the individualization of firearms are considered a practical certainty and not an absolute certainty, as mentioned by Fadul and others of 2030. Then emerging theme number 4, which is called the accreditation status of the FSL. This study So, a working operation in line with ISO 17025 and a developed quality management system or QMS guides the working operation of the FSL. Ballistics locally or any one of its individual analysts are not affiliated to any peer review organizations, for instance, like FD. Even so, the accreditation status is not a prerequisite in the courts of law of South Africa. Looking at the recommendation of the study, the following recommendations are intended to ensure the reliability, validity, and overall effectiveness of ballistic evidence, thereby contributing to the fair, just administration of justice. Emerging Theme 1. A recommendation for Emerging Theme 1 is that the study recommends that local analysts would more frequently be exposed and partake in firearm factory tours for research purposes. Recommendation for Emerging Theme 2, analysts should ensure that they testify with clarity and precision. Recommendation for Emerging Theme 3, it is recommended that local analysts subscribe to FD and to stay informed and contribute their experiences to the bigger environment. Recommendation for Emerging Theme 4, ensuring that the QMS procedures are followed and that SOPs stay relevant and updated, and to ensure guidelines recommended by ISO 17025 are followed. The study concludes that ballistics as a forensic science is extensively studied and enable analysts to perform examinations and provide conclusions to the criminal justice system. Thank you.